Episode number 37, Fly Fishing in the Slums. But before this episode begins, a short description of this growing up in Irish Boston in the 1940s podcast, and this is episode number 33, Fly Fishing in the Slums. Where I lived in Cambridge was a three-decker kind of neighborhood called Greasy Village. The houses were built close together with very small yards. Very few people had cars. Almost every family rented their flat. The families had many children. Fathers provided the income. The mothers raised the children. It was a low-income, hard-scrabble place to live. It would have been called a slum by Wellesley or Newton standards. Fly fishing was not a thing in Greasy Village. It was considered a wealthy man's sport when I was young. Probably still is. I was a big fan of hunting, fishing, and outdoors books and magazines, and I thought I would like to try fly fishing. Raymond's was a downtown Boston department store on Washington Street that had a great and inexpensive outdoor sports equipment section. I went there to buy hooks and bobbers and fishing line and lures for my bait casting fishing equipment. Raymond's had posters and displays of fly fishermen catching big salmon in beautiful river and mountain settings. It stirred my adventurous interest. I had money earned from my various pursuits, so I bought a 10-foot, two-piece fiberglass fly rod at a discounted price. I also bought a Mickey fin fly, which I later found out is a wet fly, and it's not for dry casting. I also did not know about such things as matching the reel, the rod, to the weighted fly line. At home, I found my brother Gary's old fly reel with some kind of fly line on it. I had monofilament line on my bigger saltwater bait casting reel. I used some of that line as a leader, and I went to my favorite nearby fishing hole, the Charles River, near the River Street Bridge, across Memorial Drive from an industrial area. I put everything together and without a lesson tried to cast the fly. I could not get the fly out very far and constantly caught the fly on brush and trees. Finally, the fly broke off and I began to cast without it. The line began to go further out. I know now that the fly needs to be very lightweight and the fly line is the weighted carrier of the fly. I also know now that everything was out of sync. The line, the fly, and the rod were all mismatched, too heavy. I needed someone to explain the facts to me. I kept trying and got a little better later with a dry fly. I was able to catch some perch with that rig. I think if I had known a little more, I probably would have caught some big fish with my half-ass fly fishing rig. I kept that rod and the reel for a long time, but I used it little. Today, I am still not very good at fly casting, but I love it, and I catch fish. Now, whatever fishing I do is with a fly rod. I use paid fishing guides, go to beautiful trout and salmon fisheries, and my now expensive equipment is all balanced. Thank you for viewing or listening to my podcast episode. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, and if you so choose, I ask you to send a good review and perhaps refer friends who might be interested in this podcast series. Again, my thanks.